Hello, good evening, and welcome again. If you tuned into my comics news burst earlier, then this will be twice in one night, twice in an hour actually. So I managed to get this done quicker than I expected, in actual fact. So let's get stuck in to tonight's bit of information. So yeah, I was playing a little bit of catch up with the comics news from yesterday, and thought, you know what, let's just do two on the bounce, one after the other. Let's get that content rocking, shall we? Everyone in the comments already, how is everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good evening. Probably didn't ask that on the comics news burst. So I don't care what evening you're having with comics. I'm just going to assume it's good. Anywho, got a bit of speculation to chat about, I guess, for the next, I don't know, how long have we got? Got a decent, we've got some time. This could last a little bit of time. There's nothing holding us back right now. We can just go full force on this particular bit of news. Yeah, let's get stuck into it. We're talking Entertainment Earth drop zone speculation tasticness. What? The words doth flow. Anyway, how impressed are you all that I managed to do this in such a short period of time? Bear in mind, I had nothing prepared for this particular episode nothing until we finished the comics news burst. So, however long that took from the end of that episode to now, that's what you're looking at. Yeah, hardcore I am. Anyway, what are we saying in the comments already? I see there's a lot of people in here already. Josh and the Real Zim and Newfield and Windblade, Wilfredo. Hello, everyone. Jody, Medic, Ryan, Mahmoudi, and Joe. Yes, glad everyone is in the chat. Josh is getting straight down to it. No messing around. Cobra Stinger incoming? That's my guess. What do the rest of you think? It's a good shout, Josh. I mean, when you think about the fact that we just had a vamp, and the vamp obviously is synonymous with lots of other vehicles, because it was the base for then a Mark II, for a Stinger, for a Tiger Sting, for a Dreadnought Ground Assault, for all sorts of different versions spawned off it. And it has got one of the most reused vehicles, I want to say, in the line in terms of tooling. I can't think of any others that have had as many different like decos and stuff. I can't think of many others that have had that amount of usage. The Sky Striker is another one. So what we've got, the Sky Striker, we've got the Night Boomer, we've got the, I suppose, the Club Chrome Sky Patrol one. We've got the Crimson sort of Aspie one that was like the SDCCC kind of crossover one. There was two of those actually. There was like a Wolf Squad one as well, wasn't there? Not Wolf Squad, but it was one where they were doing some weird things with it. And I remember, like, that's where Sightline came with one of those. I'm sure Sightline came with the Sky Striker, but the Sky Striker's been used a lot. But I think the Vamp probably beats it. The Skyhawks had a few, but nowhere near as many as the Vamp. Nowhere near as many. I mean, you just have to, like, the Skyhawk, I can only think of the Skyhawk and the Sky Patrol one, and maybe the kind of Steel Brigade-ish one in that the club did, but I haven't really seen a lot of different colors and different versions. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the Vamp, like, not only gets a redeco, but it gets retooled all the time. Crimson Scythe, thank you very much, Crimson Cobra Commander. That was the word I was looking for. Yo, man, you don't make any break, eh? Way to go. Well, I try not to have any breaks, but I didn't do anything for Monday and Tuesday, and I feel like I was letting not just myself down, but everybody down for not doing episodes. It's got to that point now where if I don't do something during the day, like related, like a stream or whatever, then I feel like I am just not doing what I've been put on this earth to do. That's a joke, by the way. Right. Ryan says, I was just watching the comics episode when I got an alert that another episode was starting. Deeply confused for a couple of seconds. Sorry, Ryan. Yeah, if you're not getting them live, sometimes you're watching them a little bit delayed. My apologies on that one. Let's get crazy, Chris. Full force. Thanks, Joe. So anyway, yes. Now, what are we here for? Why are we talking about these things? Well, it's because Entertainment Earth have plopped in another possible. It's not definite, but there's a possibility we could be looking at a GI Joe classified related drop zone post here. Now, Tuesday, June 4th, I think we're all in agreement that that's probably going to be the first event of Yojo June, and it's almost certainly GI Joe related, especially when it says and we'll shout yo when they go. So I mean, it's got to be GI Joe. It has to be. If it's something else, I would be very upset. And yes, we have been down this road before when we've been talking about Entertainment Earth drop zone posts. And I was almost convinced that, oh, this is definitely going to be the Sergeant Slaughter Cup reveal. Well, we might be seeing that this Yojo June, but I gotta say, I have been personally fooled before. I say it's me that's been fooled before. So I'm almost positive on June the 4th, or the 4th of June, as I would say. And in terms of this other one, now obviously there's the Tuesday kind of cadence makes sense, because if there's going to be the event, if one of the events is going to be on Tuesday, the next one will probably be on a Tuesday, and the next one, and the next one, and so on. That's usually how they work it. They find a day that makes sense in the week, and they bounce across the month like that. Now they've done that on Thursdays usually, and it could be that they just have random stuff going all over the place. Absolutely, totally possible. But I would say that you might be getting things on a weekly basis. There was another Tuesday drop zone thing as well, wasn't there? Which I have at hand. So we've got June the 11th. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, and then the 18th. That makes sense. So there's one in the middle, but that says we've got some great new action figures launching. So to be sure to sign up for a reminder to find out what you can order as soon as it goes up for launch. I mean, that to me sounds so generic that it could be a GI Joe related one, and that's the 11th of June that nobody's bitten on. But again, if we look at the precedent, if we look at the history, what has history told us? History has told us that they will do an event a week, not like a major event, but like a significant thing on a weekly basis during the Yojo June, the month of Yojo June, right? And it would just goes to show that if we're following that procedure based on that one, which has got to be GI Joe related, the 4th of June, then it's only, it's only like, again, purely speculative, but again, like it's only natural to assume that the next week will be a GI Joe drop as well on the 11th, and then again on the 18th. So I think there's serious possibilities that we could be seeing multiple things throughout the month on Tuesdays. Tuesday, in it. I can't. The next Tuesday isn't on there. It would be the 25th, right? Yeah, be the 25th. So nothing for June the 25th, Tuesday, June 25th. But that doesn't mean that it isn't going to be something. There might be something on that day that just hasn't appeared on Entertainment Earth's drop zone yet. So possibilities here. Now, like I said, my expectation is that we're going to see, and we'll just clip over to here. My expectation is that we're going to be probably seeing that standard retail wave of 4 at the bottom left of your screen, the Alpine, Iron Grenadier Bat, Iron Grenadiers, and another. I expect those 4 figures to pop up at some point in that month. Does it have to be the 4th? Not necessarily, but there's a high likelihood it might be that opening event. That opening event may have multiple pre-orders for multiple things. It might not just be that standard retail wave of 4. As we know, in the past, when they have done a standard retail wave of 4, it has also been accompanied with a deluxe figure, a figure in pet, and a figure in vehicle in some description. So it's likely that we could see, and in some cases, a retro wave, and in some cases 60th figures. So there's a lot of different things we could be seeing on that event. Is it going to be all of it at once? Very likely not. Is it going to be broken up and spread out across the month? Almost certainly. Do we know what that is? Not a clue. but I would be very surprised if we didn't see that standard retail wave of 4, at least at that first spot in the 4th of June. Now, again, on top of that, what else do we know that's coming in 2024? Well, we know Nemesis Immortal is a deluxe figure that's coming in 2024. So it's possible that we'll see that alongside this retail wave of 4. We know that Road Pig and his animal companion are coming as well, but we don't know, again, how or when. Is it going to be in and around that wave of 4? Very likely. Could I see those 6 figures being that, maybe that opening 4th of June kind of event? Very possibly. And then, of course, you have the Marauder Sarge, which has been leaked, obviously, image-wise. The 2-pack of Low Light and Spirit, which, again, is also one of the ones that we are expecting soon. And we kind of assume is Scrappy, because that's a Pulse exclusive. And as far as we're aware, the 2-pack of Low Light and Spirit is going to be a Pulse exclusive as well. Now, the other thing I should mention here is that a lot of people are saying that this sounds like a vehicle reveal as well. I should probably cover that, yes. So we can't give you a peek behind the curtain, but we can drive you toward a license to see these new toys first, if you catch our meaning. Be a hero and sign up for a reminder today. Now, it has been also mentioned, and I should put the opposite kind of point across as well here, that this could be another license completely. I think it was Mark Seddon on Twitter, Mark Seddon of Talking Joe fame, who mentioned that he noticed that PJ Masks utilizes the Be a Hero tagline, and Hasbro obviously do PJ Masks toys, and they have vehicles in the PJ Masks toys. So there's a possibility that that could be that. The other one was, I can't remember what the other one was he mentioned, but again, it could be a different brand altogether. And that's totally possible. Wanted to put it out there, wanted to just say that we're not just going to be here going, it's going to be this, it's going to be this, because it could at the same time be nothing at all. So yeah, sorry, lots of comments coming in, guys, and I'm ignoring all of them. June is going to be a great month. Yes, it is, Josh. I was expecting one of the weeks to be a Dragonfly update, maybe even an unboxing. Agreed, Rexship85. That is a great point. It was definitely happening in Yojo June. Whether it's an event is another point, but I have to agree with that. I think, yes, I think one of those could very well be in that week. And maybe that's that week that we don't have a day for. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's the week we don't have a drop zone kind of situation for, because Entertainment Earth wouldn't have one anyway. It's like, for example, for a HasLab, maybe that one that's missing is a HasLab reveal, and they're going to do the Dragonfly unboxing and then reveal the next HasLab thing. I don't know, but that is a possibility, isn't it? Absolutely, because there wouldn't necessarily be a drop for that. It would only be on Pulse anyway. But yeah, good point, very good point, and that's made me think. Yeah, maybe that could be the missing day. I see Torch and Norgahide staying at May 31st. Yeah, some of those, that wave seems to have been pushed a bit to August the 2nd for a few people, and I imagine it might be one of those things where some of the figures are coming earlier than others, and they're just going to some will stay on the 31st, and some will be pushed, a bit further on. It could just be for certain people. It could be for people that ordered, in terms of the order of operations. Like if you ordered like the first half, maybe you got the that first wave of figures that are going to be delivered, and other people who ordered on the back end of that might be getting the second wave of those figures coming in. So who knows? We don't really know the situation with that, but we'll keep an eye on it. Stygian says, another. Blink twice, Chris, if it's IG Destro. I can't. Well, first of all, it's not. And second of all, I'm not going to give away who that is. Bam Bam, you're talking about. So, you try and do this every single time to me. Crimson Command says, do you think it's a Vamp repaint, even though we had Rumors, Thunder Machine, and Snowcat? No, I'm just saying that a Vamp, like a Stinger, for example, and it would be a retool as well, not just a repaint, a retooling as well. I think that is a high possibility we could see that. And, we haven't heard anything since about the Snowcat or the Thunder Machine. But no, I'm not saying it's not going to be that. I'm just saying what I'm expecting. And we don't know is something I should also caveat. We don't actually know what's coming in terms of what's happening specifically in Yojo June. We know like a certain few extra elements on these listings, but we don't know what's dropping when. And that usually comes out a little bit closer to the time. So yeah, possibly vehicle in that particular June 18th drop. So desperate to see Nemesis Immortal, says Diana. Absolutely, me too. Windblade says the one on June 18th, if it's a vehicle, it's got to be a Joe vehicle. As I say, hero. If it was Cobra, it not use the word hero. Yes. So a GI Joe vehicle, if it is specifically a GI Joe reveal, 100%. So Stinger obviously doesn't work with that because the Stinger is a Cobra vehicle. But let's just say Entertainment Earth do struggle sometimes squeezing out new puns every single time for this kind of stuff, don't they? And if they said something too specific, it might be too obvious. Maybe they're trying to keep it balanced. Who knows? Why did Amazon change shipping dates for Doc Jinx, etc.? Jason, we don't know the details, but the assumption is that they just aren't ready. They're not delivered from the factory yet for whatever reason. Maybe there's delays in production. Maybe it's going to be multiple things: delays in production, delays in shipping, or what's the word? Logistical issues in when it's actually hitting the US. So it could be that they can't store it anywhere, so it has to be kept somewhere else. There's a lot of things you have to kind of take into consideration with this stuff, and it's not as easy as just throwing money at it a lot of the time, as Hasbro found out very much so in the during the pandemic. Like you can't just pay for more stuff. Like the idea is to avoid having to pay massive amounts for storage, for shipping, for like if you can ship multiple things at once, you do it. But again, I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on, but the reason behind them changing shipping dates is because they're not getting that stock for whatever reason delivered to them in a timely manner. That's it. There's no other reason. They're not holding it for any other reason. It is literally it is delayed through either production or shipping. Production, shipping, or logistics in storage. Hope that they're the only options it could be. It's definitely the general. That'd be amazing. A lot of people, Snowcat. A lot of people saying they want Snowcat. That'd be wicked. It'd be funny if it was PJ Masks, wouldn't it, Josh? I wouldn't mind a play school type Joe's toys for Joe. That'd be kind of fun, actually, wouldn't it? Honestly, Carl, I would. I think I kind of feel like Lego would be a really cool one, but there just doesn't seem to ever. I don't think that's ever going to happen. So obviously, Creo tried to happen. They tried to make Creo. They tried to make Fetch happen, and it didn't quite happen. And I think like if they did something like, again, yeah, like on a smaller scale, more kiddie, more kind of fun and everything. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I'd poop my pants, maybe literally, if the HasLab turns out to be a more racist Stygian. That would be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? Why would they show other products during Yojo June? Medic, good point, but they have done. It doesn't. It's obviously it's very much a Joe centric month for us, but they have shown, they have revealed other things during that month as well for other brands. The thing is, like sometimes it's like, what's the point? If in the month of Yojo June, where all eyes are going to be on Joe, a lot of stuff gets like missed that is not Joe related. But again, we've had stuff during that month that wasn't GI Joe related. Mission Fleet would be a cool one, Carl. Yes, that's true, actually. Michael says, I too am getting pushbacks and was a minute one pre-order. Yeah, so in that case, it's probably across the board then, Michael. And like I said, usually it is delays in production, delays in that could be anything in the factory, from things like maybe they've maybe they've, they're in the process of, they're about to churn out all of the figures, and they've sent a sample to Hasbro, and they've looked at it and gone, actually, this needs changing, this needs fixing, and then it's gone back to the factory, and they're struggling to get something, finalized for it. Josh says, I pre-ordered those late on Amazon but early on BBTS. Chris, you're a good sport, mate. Thanks, Stygian. Plastic Battles. Paul, hey, bud. Bam Bam is clearly Armadillo. Could you imagine the amount of piss that would boil? I think I can say the P word without it being too offensive. But could you imagine how much urine that would boil if Armadillo was one of the figures? I think people, without Rolling Thunder, I think people would absolutely just start riots all over the United States and the world, in actual fact. Bam Bam could be cesspool. I hope so, says Stygian. I'm not saying anything, but it's not cesspool. I wonder if they do a Pocket Patrol 3-pack case. That would be fun. Figure 6-pack. I'd love that. Hydro Viper I need, says Stygian. Oh, God. I tell you now, if I don't see a Hydro Viper in some of these listings soon, I will start questioning the ability of the joke. I'm just kidding. Of course I wouldn't. That's just me being hyperbolic. That's me being a hyperbolic. Do you know how many events are happening in June? Not exactly what's. No, Stanley, we don't know anything. So like what will happen is much closer to the time. In the past, we had pre-order information for the whole month, like the previous month, almost like a month in advance. And we would know what was coming. In some cases, some years ago, we got the information of what was happening in that month, pre-order wise, like so far in advance. Like I was surprised because I was like, this is going to change surely. And then when it came to it, it's like, no, that was spot on. No, that was spot on. That was spot on. So yeah, in the past, we've had it well in advance. We don't get it as much in advance anymore. It's usually like maybe like a week in advance, or a couple of days. And it will be like before the actual first, it wouldn't be like the whole month. It would just be like, hey, this is happening on this day and this time, and these are the listings. And the listings are usually, what's the word? Coded as well. Sometimes we get them uncoded, but for the most part, it's all coded. So we either have to have that information uncoded in advance, or we don't necessarily know what's coming each time. Hydro Vipers coming out. We don't know, Jason, but I want them so hard. Triple T, that would be cool. That would be cool, genuinely. Ferret in the UK, hopefully not far away for us. Oh, Ferret's got to be around the corner now. Stygian for the US. Jody says, I think the bad guy coming with Falcon is going to be Major Blood, but what does everybody else think? I'm not saying a word, because I will give it away, and I don't want to. I want that to be a surprise. Every time I get one of these huge pushbacks, they whip around and drop them in the mail a week later. Amazon lies. That's a good point, actually, Michael. That is a very good point. It's like, do you remember the Amazon shipping date, like, estimates are like, do you remember when you'd update something on like an old Mac, and it would just be like, it would go like this. It would go 2 minutes, 6 days, 4 hours, a week, and it's just like it just does this. It's like the range of like time it was giving you flashing up was ridiculous, and how long this update was going to take to install. That's what Amazon are like. It's like, it's coming tomorrow. Actually, no, it's coming next month. Actually, no, it's coming next year. No, it'll be here. It's on your doorstep. You're like, what the hell? It's like it's in real time trying to work out like when it's going to be there. July and August is when the next 2 waves hit, according to ship dates on Pulse. Yeah, again, these things can change, though. You never know. Yeah, you never know. And also, it could just be the shipment going to Amazon. That's another thing. If it's only happening for people on Amazon, then it could very well just be shipping issue getting to them and getting their distribution, getting their figures for distribution. So there's another thing where some companies like Hasbro and others, they will have direct shipments to certain places, won't they? So like obviously Pulse gets them, certain like retailers have to get them as well, and it's kind of all over the place. Sometimes EE have it first, sometimes BBTS have it first, sometimes Pulse weirdly have had it first once ever. Like that kind of thing. Sometimes Amazon get it first. So like there's a weird thing where it doesn't seem any rhyme or reason to any of this. It just seems to be like they just get it out there, they ship it, and then whoever gets it first gets it first. And a lot of the retailers, they won't sit on stock, they will just get it and they will kick it out straight away. It'd be like, let's capitalize on this excitement, and whatever goes up pre-order wise, and then whatever they have left, that goes up, and then people are just like, yeah, excited and want to buy it because they're seeing other people get it, and it's on, and it's in stock, bang 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 bang. So yeah, it's an interesting sort of system, but you're talking the logistical nightmare for like all sorts of companies. And like I imagine Hasbro's is pretty crazy, the amount of stuff that they're doing, the amount of different things they're producing, the amount of management that needs and sometimes doesn't quite get is ridiculous. And that's another thing. I think a lot of people attribute a lot of these things to the G.I. Joe brand team. If the G.I. Joe figures aren't hitting a certain place at a certain time, it's blamed on the G.I. Joe brand team. They've got nothing to do with distribution. They have absolutely nothing to do with the shipping or any of that. They literally just make the stuff and try and get it through as quick as possible. They have nothing to do with actually distributing it, getting it to EE, getting it to BBTS, getting it to Walmart, getting it to Target. That's not their job. There are other people at Hasbro that have to deal with that and do that kind of stuff. So I feel like because they're the face of the brand, they get kind of like they get burdened by the fandom with every single aspect of the company, and it's not the case. That's not how companies work, and it's certainly not how Hasbro works. Yeah, I think the ferrets will drop soon. Yeah, man, why don't we get 2 HasLabs a year, Mark? Because that would be insane. What you that I mean, they kind of did for a little while. We had the Sky Strike and the Hiss Tank in the same year, didn't we? But no, I don't think that's I mean, they'd probably both fund, but at the same time, that would just be ridiculous. I'd be out pretty quick. Unfortunately, I'd be priced out immediately. Chris, thoughts if the Dragonfly will get its own myriad 788 Fireteam like support figures? That, I mean, we've talked about this for sure, actually, Stygian, and I would say you may have asked me the question as well on this one. I would say that there's probably going to be figures that go with it that make sense. Like I could see Starduster, for example, Daphne Deluxe, PulseCon exclusive, Starduster, and maybe some other stuff that he comes with, because that's going to be a deluxe and it's got to be awesome. So I think that would probably be something that maybe you could work with the Dragonfly on. Like, is it going to be like a helipad or something, like a jump pad? That would be kind of freaking rad, actually. If you came with a jump pad and you got and it also doubled as a Dragonfly helipad, I think I would be so happy with that. It might not happen, and my expectations are just unfortunately ruined my life there, but I would be into that. But I could see them doing things like that, like little dio pieces for the helicopter that kind of go with it, sort of like a fueling kind of thing or a weapons loader. A little kind of like a weapons transport could work. The one that hilariously Blowtorch rides on the box, I think. That could possibly be something they could do with as an accompaniment for the Dragonfly. What else could they do in terms of figures? Like a 788 Fireteam, you could definitely do like a ground support team, like your ketchup and mustard guys could get classified figures, which again would not be out of the realms of possibility when you think about what has come since that Sky Striker HasLab. So I think you could definitely see things that would be kind of cool. That would be really cool. I would love stuff like that. What are you thinking of? And what do you guys think about that? Like, put some in the comments. I'll see if I can get to some of them. But Dragonfly support crew, Dragonfly figures. Who do you think goes really well with the Dragonfly? Obviously, I'm saying Starduster and let's just say ketchup and mustard with some cool ground sort of gear, like a weapons transport. That you could also load the missiles onto the Dragonfly, and a fuel kind of tank would be kind of cool. And maybe even you could say that support for the Dragonfly, like ground to air support. Like if you've got the HMS, which is a towable, something for the Dragonfly would be cool. Would be like a flat cannon. So you could release a flat cannon in and around that kind of time, and it could be related to keeping the skies clear for the Dragonfly. We've got to keep our eyes and ears open for the whip snake. Still wondering what that is, Joe. Same, mate. Not a sausage. Not a sausage on that one. I want it to be Royal Guards, but again, I think that's my expectations running away with it a little bit. I'm gonna say it could be anything really at this stage. So I'm gonna have to zip through a few. I'm very sorry, guys, because I have been loads of comments. This is great. Obviously, keep them coming. Stephen says, just jumped in. Drop Zone, as in the Sky Patrol. Not that Drop Zone, Stephen. No. Entertainment Earth have a page on their website called Drop Zone, which allows them to sort of kind of premiere or like show off pre-orders coming, but they can't say what it is a lot of the time. So they just put these like cute little puns and like descriptions which sort of allude to what it's going to be without saying exactly what it is. But that's effectively what their Drop Zone is. And then obviously when it gets to that day, they reveal it and show you what it actually is. But a lot of the time you're on the other thing seeing the actual reveal for reals. So yeah, that's one of those sort of situations. Sorry, I just realized that the quality of the video might dip in and out. My apologies. I'm getting that kind of Wi-Fi issue kind of happening. My apologies, guys. Again, there's not much I can do about that. Sorry. I think it will be Cobra La versus Slaughter's Marauders, so it'll be Nemesis Enforcer. Josh, what was that question? I can't remember what that question was. Hey Kicktoy, hello everybody else in the chat. Loads of you, it's crazy, awesome. I'm a bit behind on the comments, my apologies. Let's see what you guys are saying about the Dragonfly, if anyone's said that yet. Ground crew would be cool, says Kicktoy. Sky Patrol figure, says Carl. That's a good point. Absolutely, Sky Patrol would make a lot of sense with a helicopter. 100%. Armament crew would be cool. Really, I know, right? Like the ground crew, you could have ketchup and mustard, the weapons transport, and on the back of the weapons transport would be like a little, as it is, like the thing it tows along, and then you could have the missiles kind of like on that towable, and you could kind of back it up and then raise it up onto the the Dragonfly, just like obviously playtime fun, but that would be what that support vehicle would be. I think it would be kind of fun. Joshua says, I'm only 30 minutes late to this one. Sorry, I'm not starting again. After ketchup and mustard, there should also be relish and white mayo. Green relish and white mayo. Yeah, figure six pack. I'm down with that. Ground crew would be great, says Blitz. What is the chance of getting a 3-pack of short fuse flash and zap, says Lawrence. I mean, that would be wicked, but I could see them all just being released as single figures at some point in the future. That's what I would expect with that, actually, Lawrence. But it's not a bad shout, because if they were to do them very classically, OGs, then maybe doing them as a 3-pack would be kind of cool. But I think they're cool enough. Like Flash has got to be around the corner, especially considering his accessories are really close with Glenda. Zap, I could see them doing. I would love Sonic Fighter Zap, but I totally, obviously, regular Zap, initial first Zap makes sense as well to do. And short fuse as well, especially in the kind of style that they've done Grunt. Slightly updated, but you can strip it down and have it as kind of a more basic figure. But at the same time, I think that Grunt is a phenomenal figure. So if they could do the same with short fuse, flash, and zap, I'd be all over that. Grand Slam as well. Even like Colonel Hawk, Colonel Mustard, lols. The little automated weapons piece is a support for the Firefly. It's board with figures. Not sure what that is. You mean the Dragonfly? Skyhawk as a support vehicle, says Josh. Hilarious. I mean, it's a vehicle in its own right, but I mean, I wouldn't say no to that. But I definitely see that, 100% happening as a vehicle on its own. Who's Ben Busy, says Kicktoy. Brilliant. I'm always down for when people notice names that I say by accident. I'm always down for that. I wonder if it's... Oh, you're still talking about Bam Bam. Stygian, none of this is in relation to Bam Bam. Hardball should be coming soon. He's Frag Viper's nemesis and part of the Slaughter's Marauders. Good point on both there, Stephen. Absolutely true. Retconned into the team during the club years, wasn't it? In that... was it the Chattanooga set? I think it was, wasn't it? It was the last set the Marauders won, and Python Patrol. That was quite awesome. Was it the last set? I think it was. I think that was the last one. It's a good set as well. And that that hardball is really cool. But hardball, please. Yeah, in both regular and Marauders flavors, please. Dragonfly adjacent, gold helmeted steel core. I like that, Ryan, very much, considering they were going to do that in the tiers, weren't they? Which is one of the reasons why they had that silhouette that looked like a steel core kind of silhouette. But yes, gold helmeted steel core would be a brilliant figure to do as a like a... I don't know what you'd call it, like Dragonfly support crew or something. Maybe parts of a landing pad of some kind. Yeah, absolutely. Kicktoy. Maybe have ketchup and mustard with one of those old-timey firefighter trampolines in case of emergency crash landing. Love that. Coastal Defender. Carl, now you're talking my language. Terrible vehicles, but I love it at the same time. In the same ilk as the 788 team, Lawrence, right? You were saying first, what is the chance of getting a 3-pack short fuse flash and zap? Again, I like it. Even that in that sense, in the same sense, like you said, as a Dragonfly support thing, in the same way that we got the fire team and the 3-pack. I like it. I like it a lot. Board with figures. I prefer troop builders and 3-packs like the Viper team. Yeah, and the the fire team are all troop builders, aren't they? So steel core 2-pack. Cobra Blue Ninjas. But yes, I like the thought of these. It's a good way to get a lot of the OG-13 done in one go as well. Absolutely. G.I. Joe MMS, of course. Why wasn't I not saying that? Yes. A G.I. Joe MMS would make a huge amount of sense as a Dragonfly sort of adjacent kind of thing. Obviously, to keep the skies clear for the Dragonfly. Flak, obviously flak, but the fact that you've got the HMS already means that a G.I. Joe one would be, and that just makes perfect sense, and could be towed by the Vamp. So that Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. I think you're right on that one, Ryan. So definitely, that's a great option, isn't it? So a G.I. Joe repainted HMS, a green MMS, right? A flat cannon, possibly. Like the weapons transport with ketchup and mustard would be fun because it would be different as well, and it would be like really interesting. I think people would vibe off it. I'd love a flat cannon with a green shirt trooper plus sparks for communications. I like that, Eben, a lot. Skyhawk is one of those horribly senseless vehicles. I don't know. Yes and no. I do love it though. I think it's great. Pack Rat as add-on for the Dragonfly support. Yeah, so Pack Rats would be great. Board with figures. I like that shout as well. Coastal Defender with Rampart because he's a Coastal Defender. Like it. Oh yeah, Super Trooper. Ooh, yes, please, Mr. Cheeseburger. And bench press. Hell yeah. Give them all steel core helmets and instant green shirt troop builder. Yeah, definitely. MMS with Grand Slam. Yeah, I would do MMS. Yeah, I mean that would be cool. But I would probably... I think you could probably do Colonel Hawk with that, couldn't you? That'd be pretty neat. I'm still campaigning for a Zap short fuse 2-pack with the steel core helmets to make it a green troop builder set. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Yeah, pack rats. Yeah, cool. Boom. Okay, so lots and lots of speculative things here. Now, obviously, there is a heavy insinuation that it's vehicle based. The coming back, sorry, to the June 18th pre-order drop zone kind of situation. So, what does that leave us with? I don't think we're going to be getting many more ferrets or ram cycles anytime soon, considering they have literally run the gamut of all of those in the last month or so. So I think that we're safe on probably not getting any of those for a little while. But that does open the door, like I say, for vamp repaints. So obviously the Stinger is one of them. It doesn't mean we couldn't get like some sort of reveal of a, not necessarily for this drop zone, but a Tiger Sting at some point in the future. I think that being a good guy vehicle, but again, that would be a Target exclusive, being Tiger Force, so probably wouldn't get it on that drop zone scenario. Yeah, so I mean, like when you kind of look at all of the different options you have, realistically, Stinger's a good one. I can't think of any others. Can't think of any others that would fit in this, or if I know anything more, but I don't know anything more vehicle wise, other than obviously the Snowcat and the Thunder Machine, which again have been hinted at with other kind of like rumors and leaks and stuff, but we haven't heard anything about that for so long. But then again, we haven't heard anything about, I mean, the Stinger just came out of like people expecting the Vamp to be repainted more than anything else. Whirlwind, yeah, Whirlwind cannon would be pretty cool. Is that what they call? Is that what? I'm not going to turn my Wi-Fi on. Is the Whirlwind? Isn't that? Yeah, I can't even bloody remember. Anyway, thank you, Justin Anderson, for the super chat. That's very kind of you. But again, due to the content of the super chat, I'm not going to post it. But thank you very much. We really appreciate it. But like again, I don't want to rock the boat, put it that way, in any way, shape, or form. And I certainly don't want to put targets on me, because I don't say anything or do anything and seem to get like pelters for all sorts of different things. So I'm staying very clear of that. But I do appreciate very much the super chat. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you. John. No, Warden, you're thinking of, Ryan, right? John Warden mentioned at SDCC that the HMS could be towed by the Hiss or the Stinger. Yeah, it's got a variable change on it. Like, go to the video of them revealing the HMS, and you've got it's a variable height differential and everything. But yeah, I think he did say something. I think Warden did say something like that. SDCC said it could be towed by a Hiss tank or a Stinger, etc., etc. So there's definitely meat to the bones on this one, and we might have heard a few things as well popping up. Jody says, Chris, can you clear up the false rumor circulating that Emily said water vehicles are off the table? Yeah, I've heard a few people make comments about this, and I actually reached out to Lenny. I genuinely reached out to Lenny and asked him, is this real? And he was like, no. It's like, if she said it, it's been misunderstood or miscommunicated. But there's at no point has anyone said no more or water vehicle based thing for HasLabs. It's just not the case. It's not true. And like I said, I reached out to Lenny regarding that, because I saw a few comments come through saying like, they're not doing water vehicles. And I'm like, it's not true. They are. Well, they're not doing it, if you know what I mean. So I don't really understand where that came from. Again, it might have just been something that was misinterpreted from Emily. But again, I think the only thing they said is not happening, which again, Lenny reiterated in the comment I asked him about. He said that they are only the only thing they're not doing is a flag, water based. So I would genuinely say that I don't know what where that's coming from. But yeah, I will also say, yeah, I don't want to get into what's happening in the comments. I don't really want to get into that again. I'm not really. That's not why I'm here, and that's not why we do this. It's not why I'm doing this. Let that happen as it will happen, and you can, make your own minds up on that one. But like I said, I reached out to Lenny regarding it because I saw a couple of comments on a couple of videos saying Emily said they're not doing water vehicles. I'm like, where is this coming from? And I don't even know what this is regarding because again, I watch all the videos, but I don't always like listen intently because I'm usually having to like take screenshots or keep up with what's happening and posting on stuff. Sometimes you miss a lot of stuff. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure where that originated. But again, I'm getting I was probably had about 5 or 6 comments about it. And as far as I'm aware, and obviously as far as Lenny's aware, water vehicles certainly are on the table. But yeah, anyway, that's just that really. Again, believe what you want to believe. It's not for me to tell you what to believe or not to believe. That's just from what I reached out to Lenny. I asked him direct, and he said that is not true. Anyway, moving on. What else was I going to say? I think that's pretty much it for this list, isn't it? Again, we've kind of touched on what we could see. We've kind of done almost like a preview of what Yojo June might be like. And these listings haven't changed for a while. So yeah, that's really all we can kind of talk about at the moment. Like I said, standard retail waiver 4 very likely to happen in that month. Nemesis Immortal's a good shout because he's a deluxe. But then again, so Fred Deluxe could be as well. And that's an F number as opposed to a G number. And I know F and G aren't numbers, but F obviously predates G in terms of the listings. So it's very likely or possible that Fred Deluxe could be before Nemesis Immortal. So it's possible we don't see Nemesis Immortal this way round. And the Fred Deluxe, which again, we still don't know what it is, that and a few people are kind of commenting, could it be the Cobra Commander? It could be that Once a Man Cobra Commander, very possibly, but we don't know. So, that could be whatever Fred Deluxe is. Hopefully we'll find out a little while beforehand. Or no, just surprise me. I like being surprised along with some people here. Yes, so that's pretty much it. Cool. I think we've covered everything on 2024. Just quickly while we're here, I might as well have a quick rinse through of what we know about 2025 at the moment. Again, we do have more information, and I think over Yojo June, we might be able to unlock a few more of these things on the screen. So I'm hoping for some cool reveals over Yojo June. And if and when we get to that point over that month, I will update these listings as and when I can. Thank you, Mr. Cheeseburger. Appreciate the super chat. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. And I can pose this one. You said, thanks, Chris, for a safe space to talk about toys. Appreciate that very much, Mr. Cheeseburger. We really appreciate super chats. And again, I will also once again say, just under Anderson, thank you very much for the super chat, dude. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anyway, G.I. Joe Kiddie Pool confirmed. Hilarious. Could you imagine? Actually, that would be wicked. I remember putting together at Dave's shop in Fordingbridge all the cool stuff. Shout out to Dave Tree. Eddie was there as well. It was the early full force get together before we went video. Now when we were there that day, we built this was years ago. We built that kind of kids little play tent, kind of whatever it is. It's not a vamp, but it's like a little Jeep sort of thing, vehicle. And like I literally got inside it and rode it around, but I was standing up and it was massive. Not a problem, Justin Anderson. Do not apologize. I'm just wanted to say thank you very much. I just couldn't post it, but thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, dude. I'm just glad that you're also not upset that I couldn't post the comment. So thank you very much. Yeah, so I would love a kiddie pool. I would love a G.I. Joe kiddie pool. That'd be so much fun because you could fill it up with water and then put all your Joes in it. It'd be so good. Your torpedoes, your eels, your obviously HasLab Morays. Now that we can say that they're going to do that, they're not. I don't know, but like, how funny would that be? After all that, it's the HasLab is a Moray. In any case, blah de blah. Oh, John says, sorry if you already went over it, but do you know why Torchwave went from May 30th to August 4th? Well, that's new dates, John. We had May 31st to August 2nd a little while ago. I think it's all a little bit like I said, I think it's just logistical, nightmarish situations with production, shipping, and distribution. I think it's just your usual kind of, three horsemen of the apocalypse there, but there's probably throw another one in there for whatever reason. But yeah, you're talking about one of those delays basically, and I don't think it's anything major. This happens in the industry quite a lot, and either it gets churned out real fast and there are no issues. Sometimes there are production delays. Sometimes there are shipping delays. We don't know yet, and I think a lot of people are saying that it's on Amazon. Some people aren't getting that information on other places, so it's all over the place at the moment. But we're under the impression that it's any one of those kind of issues, either at production level, at shipping level, or at storage and distribution. There you go. Storage and distribution, they're the four horsemen of the apocalypse, aren't they? It's production delay, shipping delay, storage at port delay, and then distribution delay, for whatever reason, probably linked to the storage problem. So there you go. River Otter, codename Laura, please. That's amazing, Stanley. It was an APC, Ryan. You're right. It was an APC tent. You're right. It was. I think so. Anyway, there's a video of me in it. It's stupid and hilarious. What about the manta ray? What about it? Totally. We did talk about the dock wave getting pushed a little bit, Flaming Crow. Again, we believe it's... you've probably heard. I'm on a delay. I'm on a delay now, aren't I? Sorry. Oh, yeah, no problem, GL. No problem. And again, yeah, I won't read out what you're saying. But I appreciate it very much. Trust me, I do. I love the Moray, but rather have a Rattler. Well, it does look like, Eben, that the Rattler is the front runner, doesn't it, for the HasLab? Like, my goodness, everyone seems to expect that come in. How much is it going to suck when it's not the Rattler? Because everyone's just been expecting it. Joe says pool party at Chris's house in the kiddie pool. Could you imagine that? Like 500 people. I'm grossly overestimating my my popularity there, aren't I? Let's just say 5 people in a kiddie pool would not be the best, would it? Bored with figures, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. This is really cool, guys. Thanks for all the super chats today. I need a coffee table, so I'm in for a flag. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? There's no way they're doing a flag. I mean, you could probably get away with it at 4-inch, at kind of like going back to the vintage kind of like vibe. But in terms of classified, not a sausage. But thank you so much, Bored with Figures. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I remember taking that devilfish into the pool as a kid. Yes, Josh. I did in the bath, I had the water moccasin, and what else did I have in there? I think it was just the water moccasin at the time that I vividly remember. And I remember, just loving that in the bath. At my Auntie Di's house at the time, Auntie Di it was in Birmingham when she lived in Birmingham. Who's be upset anyway? Brilliant, said Kicktoy. Plastic Battles, Paul, thank you, man. Thank you so much for the massive super chat. Again, really appreciate you guys tonight. This is nuts. Paul says, appreciate all the work you put into the full force and look forward to these lives. Yojo June is going to be bonkers. Grab some energy drinks. I'm going to be, I don't usually do energy drinks. Actually, that's not true. I do dabble in orange Lucasade. Yeah, specifically the orange Lucasade one. I'm very much into. I got into that not like every day, just like it's like every now and again I will grab one of those. Like we're talking not even on a monthly basis, like a bi-monthly, possibly. Like every time there's a Yojo June, I'll have a Lucasade, an orange Lucasade. And those that aren't in the UK probably aren't, have no idea what I'm talking about. But man, that just hits so right on a late drive home, keeping the eyes open a little bit. But yeah, I think what I'll probably grab the occasional Mountain Dew Baja Blast, because for some reason I'm addicted to that. And again, not in a everyday sort of vibe, but every now and again, I just fancy getting a Baja Blast. And since they've been back in play, I've been seeing them about every now and again. I'm just like, yeah, I fancy a Baja Blast. Again, not on a daily occurrence because my body couldn't deal with that. I can't deal with soda anymore. It's just usually for me at the moment, it's just water and tea, like as in class. Yeah, actually, I this is going to sound really pretentious, and it's too late. I'm already there. You're already going to have to hear it, and you've probably heard this before. But my preference of tea is jasmine green with a drop of almond milk and some honey. Yes, couldn't get any more pretentious than that, could I? And I've just done it. Anyway, thank you, Paul. Appreciate that, mate. And thank you to everyone who's dropped us, not just super chats, but all your super chats. Thank you very much. But all of the other comments as well. Really awesome. What are your drinks of choice now, people? That's my next question to you in the comments as we come to a close here. Switching away from all the classified talk, let's quickly get what drink. It doesn't have to be soft drink, but what is your like favorite liquid beverage sort of scenario? Let me know in the comments. And I'm not going anywhere until people start putting them in there. Try the Sprite Chill. It's pretty good as well, says Derek. Interesting. I might try that. Green Apple Gatorade, says Stanley. Nice one. Scotch, says Newfie. Oh, love that. Love that a lot. I don't drink, but that's a good shout. Hydrus said, oh, thanks, dude. Thanks for the super chat. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you, Hydrus, again. Have to grow the best channel on YouTube for Joe News, Full Force, and or Yojo. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate that. It's, again, so kind with your super chats. I very much appreciate this. Thank you so much. Whiskey Neat, says Nixmas Prime. There's going to be a lot of alcohol in here, isn't there, basically? Carl says, as a Dreadnought person, I'm required to say grape soda, but in secret, I'm Mountain Dew. I'm a Dew person. Plain old Mountain Dew and milk, says Kick Toy. At the same time, or strawberry lemonade with mint. That's nice. Says that sounds really nice, Lawrence. Lime and cherry bubbly, lime Celsius, says Plastic Battles. Interesting. Lime and cherry bubbly sounds nice. I've become a fiend for Starbucks mango dragon fruit refreshers with water, says Ryan. Interesting. Love my Fanta orange or just a good old Coke, says Joe. Sometimes the classics just do it for you, though, don't they? Earl Grey tea or green tea with lemon, says Wilfredo. Good shouts, both of those. GL says coffee, and then some more coffee and water. Yeah, and I also expect a lot of coffee drinkers as well to kind of pop up on this one. Jack and Coke, Paul Murray. I like it. Pickle juice, as Ralph Vader guy. You joke about, well, I'm not sure if you're joking. You might really like pickle juice. I love Bubby's pickle chips. Like they're my favorite pickle like based things, right? And I do love pickles in general anyway, but specifically those sweet Bubby's ones are just unreal. And the juice in that, I'm not going to neck it, but obviously I just love that taste so much. Certainly not going to be dropping the rest of the juice down on to quench my thirst on a hot day, but I like your addition to that one. Jason's Electric says Folgers coffee. I think Kate gets Folgers actually. Donald D. Jackson, Toki Whiskey. Never heard of that, Donald. But again, that's it sounds like a nice wee dram, a nice wee dram, as my dad would say. But he's not Scottish, but he would do the same thing I'm just doing there, putting a terrible Scottish accent on. A wee dram, eh? Purple Powerade Zero says Medic 1849. I like it. Sprite Chill tastes like a cherry limeade. Ooh, I actually quite like the sound of that, Derek. Coffee Stout says Josh F. Lemonade says Samuel. Again, some classics here. I like it. Coffee Stout's interesting, Josh, because that's that I bet that does kind of taste quite nice. Joe Barrett says tequila. Getting straight in there. Mango and pineapple smoothie. Oh yeah, smoothies good. Untapped resource. Definitely bored with figures. I like some. I like me a good smoothie. Definitely. Grape Kool-Aid says Eben. Grape soda, John. Again, I like the idea there, guys. I like the keeping it dreadnocky. Pepsi says Killer King, always a go-to. Again, keeping it classics. I like it. Anything with boba pearls, says Ryan. Interesting. Joe Barrett says second the Fanta flavors. Okay, cool. Oh, you definitely like pickle juice, Ralph. I like it, man. I like your style very much. Coffee in the morning, or I'm a train wreck, says Joe. Who's Jack and Coke? Brilliant, Paul. Brilliant. My local bar has a grape juice shop. Basically, they toss in any leftover alcohol that isn't enough to make a drink in there and call it a purple. Interesting. Choco milk, says Jody. Oh, good shout. Chocolate milk. Mountain Dew and milk separately. Thank you, Kicktoy, and thanks for specifying on that one. Favorite snack, anyone? Doritos and beef jerky for me, says Joe. Spicy queso popcorners are actually really nice, Josh. Yeah, they are. Popcorners in general are really nice. I do love ciders, sours, and stouts, porters. Nice one, Carl. Doritos, says Derek. Again, some classics going in here. Classics. Personally, I am an absolute fiend for the honey barbecue poppables. Have you guys had those? Addictive. Oh my goodness. Specifically the honey barbecue ones. Those poppables are just, I can't, like, again, if I eat something and it's like, oh my God, if it's game over, it's game over. I'm just going to do that. Who's Carl et Purple? Brilliant. Anyway, yes, I think that brings us to the end of the episode now, doesn't it? I thought I'd finish it off with a little bit of silliness, and it's fine. That's how we roll. Thank you again for all the very amazing super chats, to all of the guys that have done super chats, and to all of you guys just in general for commenting and everything. Really appreciate all of that. So I will shout out though: Hydrus, Plastic Battles, Bored with Figures, Mr. Cheeseburger, and Just Under Anderson. Thank you very much for the super chats. We really appreciate it. And of course, to all of you guys in the comments, love you guys very much. Before we go, a couple more questions. In fact, what we'll do is I'm going to quickly transition and we'll bring the episode to a close, but I'll do a few more questions before we go, okay? So just a few more minutes. Let's do it. All right. So I said that because a couple of questions came in just now. So Mark P587 says, Chris, do you think we get an ore striker? My answer to that one is it's got to be yes. Like it is, you look at the Vamp, right? Massively iconic. The Hiss Tank, massively iconic. Is there anything more iconic after that than an ore striker? Probably the Sky Striker, but we know the reasons for why that's not necessarily been churned out in the classified scale. But no, I think an ore striker is definitely on the cards, and I would be very surprised if we don't get that sooner rather than later. Mark on that one. I definitely think we'll get an ore striker at some point. Thank you, Bored with Figures. Appreciate the comments. Thank you, Josh. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, says Joe. Oh yes. I love a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Absolutely. Thank you, Kicktoy. Great community indeed. You guys rock. You rock as well. Good night, Paul. That's Paul Murray. Plastic Battles question. Any movement on a Shooting the Galaxy interview? I haven't heard anything since. I reached out to Matt and he put in an approval request and haven't heard anything since. I will chase that up. I did chase up once and didn't get anything back. So I'll message him again and see if that's possible. But yeah, we definitely want to do that. I think it's going to be go. It's just a matter of getting that that paperwork signed, basically. Joe Barrett says, I see the Ore Striker and Fang coming in 2025. I wouldn't be surprised, mate. Would not be surprised. Mark says, love the hat as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's got a bit of fatigue here at the moment, like sweat fatigue. As you can see, the light's really highlighting that. But yeah, it's that wicked Snake Eyes hat from the New Era one that came out with the A6 sneakers from... oh, I feel really bad for forgetting. Anderson Blue. We actually interviewed Anderson Blue because of those sneakers. And so I felt really bad for forgetting there. But yeah, the A6 sneakers, which are both down there, the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes one. In fact, can I flip that and just show you guys without destroying everything? Probably not. I'm probably going to, I'm going to destroy everything now, aren't I? Because I've got my mic hanging up here as well. I'm just going to do this, get real behind the scenes Toys R Us thing hanging up. Probably can't even see it because the microphone. There they are. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes sneakers in their boxes still. Cool, huh? Anyway, there's a little behind the scenes of the Full Force HQ basement. And my microphone was just getting in the way. Crazy there. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's where this hat's from. And I wanted to get the Storm Shadow one, but I left it too late and it was sold out and I was gutted. I haven't seen it anywhere since, other than maybe eBay, but I've been desperately trying to find that again. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for, like I said, all of the comments, all of the fun, and all of the stupidity at the end with what's your favorite drink and what's your favorite snack. I'll be back with Let's Talk Classified Blowtorch at some point. I'm squeezing this out though feels good because Kitty said, because you never know what's going to happen. There might be news tomorrow, there might be news Friday, and I don't want to get stuck behind everything else. So I'm glad we managed to do a back-to-back tonight. I will see you on the next one then, and it could be the weekly, who knows. But stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, you know what to do after 3. Have there any other comments come in? Carl says you'll have to explain Jeffrey's Toys R Us for next time. Oh no, we got that when the Toys R Us near us, when it was going out of business, they were kind of, giving stuff away and selling stuff. Well, Kate and I went to a Toys R Us in Missouri, and when we were there, she asked them if she could have this little side kind of section that was on one of the things, and they went, yeah. So we just took it, not stolen, given to us. So that was the only thing we managed to kind of get from the Toys R Us, friggin' riots as it shut down. Anyway, you know what to do after 3. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Yo, Joe June round the corner, baby. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.